Namaste everyone. I welcome you all on behalf of the Indian section to today's interactive symposium on the topic Study, Meditate and Selfless Service. Our speakers for the day, as you all know, are Brother Sairam Pate, Brother Pradeep and Sister Suvralina Mohanty. So before starting the talk, let us sit in meditation for a minute, followed by the universal invocation. O hidden life, vibrant in every atom. O hidden light, shining in every creature. O hidden love, embracing all in oneness. May each who feels himself as one with thee know he's also one with every other. Come back, everyone, and thank you for joining. So now I would like to welcome Brother Sairam Pate. He did his master's in psychology, bachelor's in computer science, and diploma in banking operations. He worked in banking sector for ICICI Bank and Standard Chartered GBS India. He is a certified career counselor and personality development trainer. He is passionate to help the young generation in choosing satisfactory career. In the journey of self-exploration, he joined the Theosophical Society in 2018. He has been part of Workers Training Camp in Adyar 2019. He has delivered talks in 144th International Annual Conference 2020. He is a part of Anand Lodge, Tadepaligudem, Administration and Functioning. He is spreading theosophy in various educational institutions and lodges as Director of Propagation, Telugu Federation. Today's part is study. So today, Brother Sairam Pate will be speaking on study. With this, I would like to welcome. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Kritika, for introducing. Welcome all. It's been a long time that we have interacted. Thank you, Brother Shikar, for inviting me for this talk. Today's part is the importance of study of theosophy. In every question, I think this theosophy, as the subject is SMS, study, meditation, and these are the parts which we are discussing today. So all these aspects are the one of the important parts that everyone will be involved at any point of time. Like a person will be involved in both parts of like studying. Studying is a regular activity that happens in a lodge, at a lodge, or at any point of seeing you see this knowledge sharing will be happening. And meditation is also one of the crucial parts in Theosophical Society, and service. The other part, many activities from the time of Anipisen, Madam Blavatsky, H.S. Alcott. These are all the people who are all the icons of service from Theosophical Society. And even the period from September 20th to October 1st, this is the celebration time for Anipisen and Theosophical Order of Service also. And coming to the study part, why we need to study theosophy, or what is the importance of theosophical literature. These, in these aspects, I will be taking forward you in the next few minutes. So in simple terms, I'll try to explain I'll touch the literature side of theosophy, other than the objects. Though we know theosophy has objects of a universal brotherhood, we the second object deals with the reading the literature from all the religions, and the third aspect is understanding the human being. So if we can see these three objects are interconnected, and however, to achieve these objects, we have to understand that there should be a basis of knowledge. For example, in the universal brotherhood, to achieve universal brotherhood or the nucleus, to form a nucleus, one has to be like, in a simple term, we have to communicate with each other. We have to understand that all the people are on the same page. So communication plays a huge role in universal brotherhood. And on the other part, coming to the literature, understanding the literature also needs study, right? Even it is a religious book or a social aspect book, whatever the thing it is, the importance of study here itself reflects in the second object. And to understand the unexplained laws of nature is the third object, which is also based on the second object. And of course, there the meditation also plays a huge role in understanding the our own human being and its nature and the laws of nature. So in all the aspects, in simple terms, your brain will be working, your brain will be starts thinking. To start thinking, to understand what is going on, you have to have knowledge, you have to recall some principles. So this is all with these basic understanding of the importance of the study, the part study, I go into the part of theosophy, theosophical literature. The importance or the good reasons to study theosophy is that it explains the laws of nature based on the facts of science and fundamental truths of religion. It also works on the principles of justice, love, and guide the human generation towards evolution. It also involves the literature of the reincarnation, and also it removes all the fear of death and sorrow. What is the reason of the sorrow? All these struggles which a human being is undergoing, and it installs an optimistic view of life. Like man is his own master for his destiny. And there is a line in theosophical literature where, like, uh, he is the child of his past and parent of his future. It demonstrates the power of the wisdom, the love for God, and withstanding the strength to to uh, to inculcate, to adopt the strength and of this world. And it brings a hope. By studying the literature, we can understand like we get some hope. What are the root causes of these misery, irretrievable losses, errors, time, all these things, and it also theosophical literature uh, makes us understand the law of causation, maintaining whatsoever a man soweth, the what is sown, like the seeds which we sow every day, or in the day of life, it will be fruited, it will be reaped in the near future. That is what you do during the child or the young generation time. All these things will be happening in the future. So in simple terms, theosophy will help you to understand all the principles from the science, religion sides, and the human side. And there are some books we can understand from the earlier side during the Madam Blavatsky, like Annie Besant, Alcott, all these people who have given, like even and Sriram, all the presidents during their reign have given huge literature based on the understandings of both science and religion. It is in there is an article by NC Ramanujachari NC Ramanujachari, where he explains that this knowledge of theosophy, it is not a religion, it is not a philosophy or not a science, but all. It is but all. It is the source of all being, the religion, philosophy, and the science. Being a synthesis and integration of all these three branches of knowledge, it is the divine wisdom or wisdom religion. Like we, in simple terms, this theosophy, like we say, is the God's knowledge or wisdom, we can say. So with these principles, as I said, it has the knowledge for the root causes, cause and causation relationships, accumulated wisdom of ages. It is the ancient universal wisdom. So in simple terms, as I said, to achieve the objects of theosophy, so we have to read theosophy, and based on, as I said, to achieve these objects of theosophy, we have to understand, in order to communicate, in order to understand the religious knowledge or the philosophical knowledge or the scientific discoveries or inventions. These theosophical literature will help you, will handhold you, will take you to the destination. So these are the simple points which I want to discuss here in the stipulated point of time. And there are some books, like during the workers training camp, we have given a list of books. I will be sharing in the chat box. So like studying theosophy has to go through in a step-by-step process. It is not that you take the secret doctrine or those books which are written by Madam Blavatsky. It is a step-by-step process. If you have to go through the fundamental knowledge, like to understand the theosophical history, story of creation of universe, the story of a man, 7 principles of bodies, relationships and correspondence, human relationships and behavior. These kind of basic understanding will help you, take you through theosophical literature. And the general books for study, as said, generally we take the study of the books in lodges in every week. Why we are taking the books? Of course, if you have to go through the books, there are some basic books like Key to Theosophy, Theosophy Explained in Question and Answers, Light on the Path, A Voice of Silence, like 7 Principles of Man. Planes, particularly planes, have a huge role in understanding theosophical literature. So consciousness, At the Feet of the Master. Generally, we see At the Feet of the Master as the basic book in theosophical study. But however, before going to the At the Feet of the Master, we have to understand this these basics. As said, basics of human nature, planes, all these things will be the steps to reach the feet of the master. So these are the important points which I want to discuss here today. So that's all for today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Sairam. Indeed, also I believe in that from the day I have joined Theosophical Society, so every time I am in need, the books automatically calls me. So moving on, we have Brother Pradeep next in line. So Brother Pradeep MS is a master's in biotechnology, working as a business manager for an organic products company and also a professional consultant for hydroponics. He is a third generation theosophist. and he was introduced to theosophy naturally since childhood. He became an active member since 2002 and has been giving lectures at various theosophical lodges in Karnataka and also in Young Indian Theosophists Group. With this, I would like to welcome Brother Pradeep. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Kritika. So in this symposium, second part, my topic is meditation. Brother Sairam spoke about study, and I'll be speaking about meditation, and Sister Suvralina will be speaking about service. So SMS, study, meditation, and service are the three integral, very basic and fundamental parts of theosophy or any spiritual organization, or for any individual person who would like to tread this path of spiritualism. So I have to speak about meditation for about 10 minutes, if I'm not wrong. So what I can speak about meditation in 10 minutes? To meditate, we need 30 minutes at least. So what I thought is, since this is for young Indian theosophists, for many young people are listening to this talk, probably some of them have not started the practice of meditation. So I thought I would just give a very brief, very small, simple understanding about how to meditate and why should we meditate. Okay, so if we go back to Patanjali Yoga Sutras, there are 3 sutras which will give a very first impression or first introduction to meditation. Desha bandhas chittasya dharana. It's the first one. Next, tatra pratyayai katanatha dhyanam. And third, tadevartha matra nirbhasam swarupa shunyamiva samadhi. So these 3 sutras in Patanjali Yoga Sutras, they describe about dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. So it says the first step is to learn dharana, and then that will lead us to dhyana, and then dhyanam will further leads us to samadhi. So this is a step-by-step process. So if you have to learn how to do meditation, that is dhyana, you should learn dharana. So what is dharana? Desha bandhas chittasya dharana, meaning to fix mind in a designated area is dharana. Now let us see what is this sutra. It means how to fix mind in a designated area. So what is mind? Mind is very vast as you think. The vastness of your mind is the vastness or the extent of your thoughts. You think sitting in here, you think up to the end of the solar system, then your mind has spread to the end of the solar system. It means, right? So whatever your thoughts, which is through your knowledge, things, that is the vastness of this mind. Then how do you fix mind to a designated area? That is, you select an area. How do you select? It's again through your thoughts. So you can work in your mind only through the instruments of your mind, that is thought. Thought is the instrument of the mind. You can only work with mind using your thoughts, right? Not your language, not your eyesight, not your ears, not your tongue, your touch, nothing works there. It's only the thought that works in your mind. So how do you fix your mind to a particular area, a designated area? Is you select a thought. Say for example, today you select a thought, one good virtue, one good action, or any statement which you think applies to your life, which you felt that you have gone through that statement or gone through that idea, or which you felt, I need to know more about this particular aspect, something, anything. You select a thought and then you try to fix that thought in your mind. And then you try to make your mind to fix in that area of thought. So it means whatever thought that you have selected, you have to try again and again for your mind to remain in that thought. But that's not very easy. That comes with many, many years of practice. I'm not saying I have gone through that and I'm above that. No, I'm also still learning. I'm also still learning how to fix my mind in one thought, one particular area for about 30 minutes. It's very difficult in the beginning, I understand, but it is possible with everyday practice. So that is the meaning of this sutra, Desha Bandhas Chittasya Dharana. If you fix your mind to a particular or a designated area of thought, then that becomes dharana. So you again and again, with your effort, with your conscious effort, you try to analyze, see the thought, keep thinking about the thought, and trying to make your mind to fix to that area. And that is called dharana. That will further lead you to dhyana. So how does dharana leads to dhyana? Tatra pratyayai katanatha dhyanam. Meaning the continuous flow of thoughts towards one point of consciousness is meditation. So what is meditation? Once you fix your mind to a particular area, once you achieve dharana, then thoughts flow in automatically. So once you are thinking about one idea or one sentence or one virtue or one action or anything, one subject, and you fix your mind to that subject, then thoughts start flowing. Many, many thoughts come that flows towards that point, that are pointed towards that subject. And that continuous flow is called meditation. Meditation is nothing but the continuous flow of thoughts to a particular fixed subject in your mind. And that process of continuous flow itself is meditation. And then meditation should lead to samadhi. What is samadhi? Tadevartha matra nirbhasam swarupa shunyamiva samadhi. Tadevartha matra nirbhasam swarupa shunyamiva samadhi. Meaning, so once you learn this meditation, once the thoughts keep continuously flowing, only the flow remains, only the thought remains. But swarupa, the form, the shape of that thought, the shape of that subject, or the shape of that idea or the sentence, the physical part of it, it disappears. So tadevartha matram nirbhasam swarupa shunyamiva samadhi. When only the flow remains and the form of thought disappears, it is samadhi. So this is the third stage. So according to Patanjali Yoga Sutras, you need to learn dharana first. Try to fix your mind in a particular designated area, whatever you select, which is very close to your heart, which is of course a good virtue. Nobody start meditating on a bad thing, on a bad idea. Everyone wants to select a good subject, a good topic, a good idea, a good thought, and then you fix your mind to that. That's dharana. And then observe the thoughts that flow towards that point that automatically generates in your mind. Keep observing those thoughts. And that flow of thoughts towards one subject is meditation. And then the thoughts, they lose their shape. Only the flow remains. You forget about the shape of the idea which you selected. What do you mean by shape? I think definitely you get a question. What do you mean by shape? Shape meaning whatever subject you have selected, it has its relevance in this physical world. It has its applications, repercussions, its benefits, disadvantages, anything. It has its connection to this physical world, right? So all those connections of that thought to this physical world should disappear. That's all what Patanjali Yoga Sutras mean. Swarupa Shunya. What is Swarupa Shunya means? The form, the shape, or the appearance should become zero, should disappear. Meaning the thought or any particular subject that you have selected should lose all its connections to this physical world, whatever you observe that in the day-to-day life. And once it loses its connections, once you observe that subject with just as a subject that you have selected, and the thoughts keep flowing continuously, there is no connection between you and the thoughts. When the thoughts come automatically and you lose all the connections of that subject to this world, then that stage is samadhi, where the generation of thoughts is automatic, the observation of thought is automatic, the observation of the subject is automatic without any effort. And you, the observer, the subject which is being observed, and the interaction between you both, that is the flow of thoughts, everything becomes one, where you don't find the difference between each other. And that is called samadhi. So this is a very small introduction about what is meditation to the newcomers. But let me tell you what theosophy has to say with regard to this process of what Patanjali Yoga Sutras have described. Because anything we study, we should have a theosophical way of seeing it. So in theosophy, we say that the Patanjali, according to Patanjali Yoga Sutras, the dharana, dhyana, and samadhi, these are the 3 steps. And we all have to learn first how to practice dharana. So to learn how to practice dharana, theosophy gives us a very easy method. That is, I have been saying this in many lectures, that you need to understand yourself, that yourself means not just your body, it is physical body, but it means the physical body, the emotional aspect of yourself, your mind, the buddhi, and the spirit, the soul. So this, if you understand these basic divisions of yourself, then to understand any subject is very easy. So meditation is a process that deals with the kama sharira and the mano sharira, that is the emotional aspect of yourself with and the mind. So both kama sharira and mano sharira, these are the 2 things that you have to get involved in the process of meditation. So the process of meditation is nothing but to separate mind from yourself, meaning as a soul, to observe the mind, to separate yourself, to take back yourself from mind, to keep your mind as a point of observation, point of focus, and then to observe the mind, to see what are the things that are happening in this mind. So that is the process of meditation. And that's exactly what you do after you reach dharana. So first, in the beginning, you practice dharana, where you fix your mind to a particular area, and then you see the flow of thoughts. So in theosophical terms, the flow of thoughts, meaning you keep the subject, you keep the entire mind away, and then you separate yourself from the mind, and then see how mind is reacting, see what kind of thoughts are coming. You observe the mind. You observe your mind. So that is the process of meditation in theosophical terms. Now, do you think all thoughts that come are beneficial or exactly focused towards the point that you have selected? No, mind is not such a obedient thing. Mind acts in its own ways. So once you separate your mind and keep observing it, you do find many thoughts that are irrelevant, that have no connection with this subject that you have selected, or that are something to do with your physical body, with something that is the vibrations coming to your ears, the smell coming to your nose, or something to do with the surroundings. So all these thoughts which have nothing to do with the subject that you have selected for dharana starts coming in. Then what do? You with effort try to avoid, try to nullify, try to push these thoughts away, and then only focus, allow the mind to only generate thoughts towards the subject that you have selected for meditation. So to separate mind and to observe the mind, to train the mind to remain in the particular area of designated area, to generate thoughts that are required, that are relevant, that are towards the topic or the subject that you selected, to nullify all other thoughts. All this needs effort. You have to do it by, it doesn't happen naturally. You need to put your effort. So meditation in the beginning, you have to put your effort, you have to try yourself to achieve all these things. Samadhi is effortless. Once you reach Samadhi, there everything is automatic. That's the third stage. After meditation, you reach Samadhi. Meditation leads to Samadhi. But until then, dharana and meditation, your effort is required. So, and then, I don't know how much time I have, but very briefly, I would like to finish off these things, that just like physical body, the kama sharira and the mano sharira, they also get influenced by the day-to-day life, right? By this air, by this water, my physical body get influenced. In the similar way, by the day-to-day life, by the activities, by our emotions, by our thoughts, both our mind and emotional aspect, they do get affected. And to purify these two bodies, the emotional aspect and mind, from all unnecessary, irrelevant, and harmful thoughts is can happen with your effort, and that is possible through meditation. And then to awaken the consciousness in these higher levels of body. So right now your consciousness is at this level of the physical body, but to awaken your consciousness, prajna, at the emotional aspect and at the mano sharira, to awaken your consciousness at those levels is the ultimate goal of meditating in the beginning. But that's not the end. And then further, uh, the next step of meditation is to feed the soul. Just like you feed your physical body, you also feed your emotional body, your mind, and your buddhi, everything with various things. But how do you feed your soul? The food of soul is through meditation. You feed soul through meditation. Meditation is a process of analyzing the activities of lower bodies from the point of view of upper bodies. So once you reach this stage of samadhi, then you separate from these lower bodies. Your physical, your emotional aspect, and your mind, these three are the lower bodies. You separate, and then the buddhi and atma are the higher bodies. From the point of higher bodies, you start observing these lower bodies. You see, you observe the activities here, and that should become automatic. That becomes automatic once you reach the stage of samadhi. And from the point of these upper bodies, that's from the soul, from the point of soul, you start observing, you will start observing the activities of these lower bodies. And hence it is possible to reach a harmony between these lower and upper bodies, to reach a harmony between your thoughts and your soul, to reach the harmony between your body and your thoughts and your soul. So whatever the inspiration that you get in your soul, according to that, the thoughts come in your mind, the knowledge you gain in your buddhi sharira, and then your body, your physical body acts according to the inspiration that it gets from these upper bodies. That's the ultimate goal of meditation, where you keep all these aspects of yourself, your physical body, emotional aspect, your mind, buddhi and atma, all these 5 things in harmony. So it's not like physical body is doing something against what is happening in your soul, what is coming out in your thought, what knowledge you have gained. So everything, if all the 7 horses goes in different direction, the chariot goes nowhere. If the chariot has to go somewhere, all the 7 horses should know where it is going and should go in a harmony and should go at same speed, right? So in the same way, all these 5 bodies should go in a similar direction, should be in harmonize and synchrony, so that you reach your goal uh, for a happier and a peaceful life. And that's the ultimate goal of meditation. I hope I introduced meditation to new people. And then from here on, based on this, you can study many, many books which teach you how to meditate, how long to meditate, how to sit, what kind of thoughts that you can select in the beginning to practice dharana. In Karnataka Theosophical Federation, we have a book for 365 days, one day, one thought for each day. We have made 365 thoughts. That book is published in Kannada. If possible, I'll try to translate that into English and keep sending you, sharing whenever I have time. So those are nothing but which are taken from the textbooks of theosophy. A good thought for a day will be very nice. That can help you to practice dharana and meditate and then reach samadhi for a peaceful and harmonized and synchronized part of all aspects of yourself. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Brother Pradeep. Really, in this short span of time, you did justice to the subject. Thank you so much. So moving on, now I would like to invite Sister Suvralina for her part. Sister Suvralina Mohanty is a life member of the Theosophical Society of India since 2003. She has addressed in youth camps on motivating and leading youth. She is associated with NGOs and organizations working for holistic development of children. She founded a new lodge, Prayas Theosophical Lodge, in December 2017. The members of the lodge are mostly young children and youth for whom she conducts weekly meetings and also seminars and special study classes and workshops time to time. She has also been an active TOS member working for poor and unprivileged children. She took charge of TOS Delhi region in 2016 as the regional secretary and has been dedicatedly working under the guidance of senior members of TOS. And today she'll speak on service. So now over to you, Sister Suvralina.
Thank you, Kritika. And I would also like to thank my previous speakers, Sairam and Pradeep. Both actually gave us a platform, gave us a starting point to study, to meditate. And all of us sitting here know that there is enough information, knowledge, even wisdom available around us, within us. And as Brother Pradeep Reddy ji said, it will only start from an effort to effortless. We cannot just, sit idle and assume for an effortless thing to achieve. Some efforts have to, have been gone into this studying part and the meditation part also. And all of us also know that my actions will be driven by my thoughts. My actions will be driven by my thoughts, and my thoughts are somewhere driven by or triggered by the kind of study I do. I'm not talking about this academic or textbook studies. Studying of nature, studying of people, studying of patterns around us. Even just looking at the nature, looking at the rain, looking at the sky, looking at a dog feeding its kids. Many things we see around, right? We are triggered by that. So it is all about how do I study and observe, and what do I absorb out of that observation. That will help me act properly. And service is an act. It is not a theory. It's practically doing, right? And now when we say that we are human beings, we know that we have this consciousness. We are conscious and we are of the nature also. We are all brought up, born out of nature. We will go back to nature, and we are actually being in the nature. And all of us know that there are 8 natural powers, like the earth, water, the fire, air, the sky. Then there is, mind, wisdom, and ego. So all these 8 natural powers which help us being human are actually imbibing the powers in us. And when they give us these powers, we have got these great qualities to look at things around us, to look at every challenge, to create opportunities to do something bigger, higher, not just petty day-to-day living. And through this, since we'll be studying this pattern of the nature, if I give example, if we look at the sun, what does it do? It gives warmth, energy, light to everyone. It doesn't think for a while, okay, he's a rich man, I'll give more power to this man, and he's a poor man, I will just give less. No, sun doesn't do that. I repeatedly say this to the younger kids when I meet. Sun doesn't do this partiality. Rain doesn't do it. It doesn't shower on, whether you're good or bad, it will not decide on that. These are all natural powers. They behave very naturally. And interestingly, we are of the nature and for the nature, by the nature, whatever it is, we call it, but we don't behave naturally. We say that we are human beings, but sometimes we behave very unnaturally, not like human beings. So if we look at these natural powers in us, this will only help us to do good. From there, the positivity will come, and from positivity will come selflessness. We will bring up a new attitude. We will bring up a willingness to serve. And when we are ready to serve, we are no more in problem zones of life. Whatever we see around us, we will not categorize only on problems. We will bring up solutions in whatever we do. So what happens when we shift from this problem zone to the solution zone instantaneously? We will have, because we have this willingness to do something, we will have the courage to do something, courage to face the problem. And from there only the serving attitude will come. For every little suffering we see around us, we will have a bigger picture of it. And we will start thinking, what can I do here? What should be my actions? We will not just be on thoughts now, we will move these thoughts to actions. Many of us, interestingly come upon a lot of, chances and opportunities to do petty services. It could be a small time service to, help somebody for a day or two. And there are many ways to do serving. But, we must understand while we're talking about serving, one is helping and one is enabling. Helping somebody for a short span of time, we are probably helping out for a small thing here. But when we enable the person, enable somebody who is weaker, enable somebody who we think, is not having that right knowledge. So giving that thing to him also, we will shift from a short-term service to a long-term service. So anyone who wants to do service, lead a theosophic life by, doing, must ask himself or herself, am I just helping for a time being or am I enabling the person? When you enable the person, you would make the person understand the purpose of things. You should also relate to the cause and effect of the laws of the cause and effect. How do we evolve from one life to another? Basics of theosophy teaches us this. When we are ready with these basics, we will be ready to serve better. So we cannot just recommend things to the person. We would also tell them why are we recommending that. That is the main thing of starting service. And if I talk about when we see people suffering around, and we get concerned for a while, and we start thinking, how do I reach out to help this guy, and how do I go and help out this group of people? In some cases, we are actually doing a part of it and then we leave it. Okay, let other people do it. Maybe some other organization will come and do it. So when we start thinking that for every problem, every disconnect, every suffering, there is always a way out, we would start questioning first to ourselves, what am I doing here? Should I do something? Am I able to do it? Okay, I'm all alone, I cannot do it. Can I approach to somebody else, or can I approach to a bigger group who would come and do it? If you really want, are concerned about being serving others, right? And maybe we can start questioning, do I have a definite plan for this? Do I wish to just look at it, okay, this person is suffering and I might not be of help, so maybe I'll just move out from there? No. Can I just stop there for a while? If not me, who I can approach to? So it is not always serving directly. It could always also escalating it to a bigger group who could come and help you out. So the willingness is the first thing here. So it is not about, going to an NGO. Like in my introduction, Kritika said, I am associated with NGOs. We generally don't give everything. We channelize the service. Sometimes we are probably not sure what we can do, but at least we can focus on what is that work and at hand I can do. Then this attitude will come up. Okay, I cannot help. Maybe I know somebody who could come and do it. So you will channelize the service. There are many things, like you could, educate some children who are unprivileged. You can probably nurse some people who are old and sick. Somebody, there is a feeding the hungry project going on in Chennai by one of our, ex-TS member. The family is doing it. He left his physical body, but I can see the family is still feeding the hungry. They're still continuing, doing that project because he imbibed that culture in that group. So it is not about I cannot do, so it will stop. No, people will join you. People will come and join hands and do it on a bigger way. So the intent should be there. Another thing I would like to talk about here while we are serving, our intent is to give. But it should not be the attitude like, okay, I am giving and XYZ is receiving. So that means I am at a very higher end because I'm the giver and the person who's taking is at the lower end. No, if that is our intent, if that is our attitude, then that is not true service. We are actually equal and we all deserve equal treatment. For some reasons, for some karmic laws or for some other reason, the person is it's seemingly at a lower end, which we need to serve and uplift the person, but that attitude of I am giving and you're receiving, so I am at the higher end, should not be there, because we should take it as a responsibility. We cannot ignore it. Our attitude will decide whether we are serving with the right intent or not. So whether we are channelizing the service directly out of our capabilities or we are routing it through certain other group of people, at the end service should be given. I am giving, I'm not giving, that I think should not be there. And from that, only this selfishness comes. So the symposium topic is study, meditation, and selfless service. So if I am associating myself, that I-ness to that service, then this is not selfless service. So we should understand that. And we should spread awareness to serve the ignorant and keep enabling. It's not about helping. So there is this aspect of giving with a good attitude of not showing off. And then I'm not helping, I'm enabling. So that way we have to shift the mindset from that I-ness to the non-I-ness. Okay. Now, if I talk about some practical aspects of service, we are in a social system. Okay, we all are taught to serve our family members when they need us. And even if they don't ask us for help, we go and offer them help. So we are all in a kind of a culture where we are naturally taught to serve. But then service has also been considered as one of the noble acts of human beings. So from childhood, we say, okay, you should help your friends, you should support your family, you should go and do a community service. So all these things are taught actually, like this study part, that is studied. We have all studied social service, socially getting connected. Then if you talk about how much do I understand that, did I contemplate on that? Did I really understand the meaning? As Brother Pradeep said, you have to put some efforts. You know it, but you have to put some efforts to understand the true meaning of it. then only you will create a path to do it. So that is why study, meditation, service are so linked properly, step by step. Okay. So we are also nurtured in an environment. We see people helping others, holding hands, of the less privileged, and owning the responsibility to serve others. So while I ponder on why should I do it, how should I do it, when should I do it, so you would start conversing with your own self. See, am I the right person? Is my way of serving correct? Is the way I'm helping others, it's for a short term or long term? We should keep asking it. So the next aspect of servicing I would like to talk about is, we generally respond to many things around us, people, trees, animals, so how do we relate to them is more important here, because if we do not understand the relationship of us with the world around us, and also the relationship of us with the inner world, so the inner, the within and without, if I am not very clear, I'm not very clear in my understanding of my relationship with my own self and the world around, probably I will not create a path to do practical aspects of service. So I would actually like to make a point here that I should also start with serving to my own self. Some efforts should go to nurture my own being, because to serve, I should be fit enough. I should be good in attitude. I should be mentally fit, physically fit to do it. I cannot just serve by thinking. I have to create it. So I have to create my own self also. So there is no selfishness here I'm talking about. I'll make it clear by saying, if I do not accept the way I am, if I do not love myself, I cannot accept people the way they are. I cannot love people the way they are. So we all have to understand this. A self-loving person, self, not as in, that I-ness kind of self I'm talking about. My body, my mind, my emotions, they need also proper care and nurturing. If I'm not doing that, I would probably not reflect it while I'm serving in other people. If I have got a wrong attitude towards life, I'm always negative, I'm always complaining, I would probably not understand the why the other person is complaining, or what level of complaint the person has. So some amount of effort has to go to, self-love, maybe I would say, not as in a very negative sense, but nurturing and grooming myself to be fitter enough to go and reflect it. If my mind is not healthy, I cannot bring out healthy thoughts around. If physically I'm not good, I'm not taking proper care of my own self, I'm not serving myself a good food, I'm not serving myself with good thought, how can I serve others with a good food and a good thought? So it all applies for my own thing. Because the way I am personally, it will reflect in what I do. So that aspect we cannot ignore. That is what I want to do, kind of, bring in here, because most of the time we do something for ourselves, and while we are going, that will be a kind of very confusing kind of service, or that will be a very unnatural behavior, or maybe we would be probably masking ourselves, or we would be showing off something different which we truly are not. Many people would be doing. So you might be doing a langar wherein you feed people, or you might be in a distribution drive where you are distributing clothes or any commodities, or maybe you are distributing books, you are distributing anything. But the right attitude will come from how you relate to that. So that is what I want to make clear here. In the processing of service to our own self, we will get ready to share something. If I read a good book, I will come and share it with somebody else. Okay, this is a good book and this is self-help book, and I think it will serve you better. If I do not read it and I just recommend, okay, you please go and read it, so probably the other person will also not get the gist of it. So introducing a book, introducing something has to start from the way I am. So we have to share, we have to give, we have to create. It all starts from serving to our own self. That gives us a push to serve others. When we start relating to others, we start listening to others, we start empathizing with others, and we start believing that things can be improved, can be changed. Because this has happened with me. If I have changed, I could change, I could see a change in my own self by helping the other person, by enabling the other person, I might bring some change in him. So that is the self-connect I'm talking about here. Because theosophic life is a life of service. So what am I recommending to somebody else? What I have done and I have found healthy, positive, good. If I go and share it, maybe that will help the person. I can serve better. The more we serve, the wiser we become. It is like if there are some students sitting here, if you could relate, when you were in school or college, you were studying something and that was really hard. But then you made it a point that I will read it, then I will probably go and teach somebody, teach my friend maybe. So while you are teaching the person, you are getting more clarity of that subject, or maybe that particular theory, whatever you are explaining to the person. Similarly, when we serve the other person in sorrowful or suffering, or any negative environment the person is in, and we are going to bring some change in his life by serving, it will make us understand, it will make us reflect upon that. And the more we serve, the more wise we will become. That is what I want to make a point here. It could be teaching an ignorant, it could be rescuing somebody who's in a miserable condition, to feed somebody who's starving, or maybe a person doesn't have proper clothing on the road, you see, you may give that. To nurse a diseased person, any service you pick up, we must try to relate to that. Without bringing in a relationship, the right relationship, we cannot serve. Then that will be just as if you're throwing it. You're not connecting to the person. That is why love, desirelessness, and or maybe I will call it a duty, these three aspects will should form the part of service. If my heart is full of love, and I would look for every opportunity, every single opportunity to serve, I would get opportunity. Only with a loving heart we can do a service. We cannot do it with an attitude, of, okay, I'm just giving you, okay, you just take it away. No, it should be given out of love. And why desirelessness? If I'm giving some service with a desire, maybe with a desire of recognition even, forget about any benefit or credit. Even if a slightest recognition of, okay, I did it, okay, the person should now show me some gratitude. Let us not, get into that kind of a zone wherein we are desiring, that's where we are giving. And why I am talking about duty bounded here, everywhere around us, we see that people are struggling for growth. Forget about growth. People are struggling to survive even. They're so puzzled, they're so confused. The world is not ruled by chance. It is ruled by a plan. And most of us do not know that this is the plan. And out of the plan, everything is happening. Yes, we are feeling sorry about the person being in sorrows, but the person doesn't know it. That is why it is our duty to do something for the person, to make him understand. Again, enabling is coming here. I cannot just go and help somebody. I must make that person enable also. I'll help for a time being, and at the same time, I'll also make him understand. I'll give you a good example here. When we had been to a TOS camp in Banaras, somebody, was sharing a past, very old experience of probably their grandfather or so in Calcutta. He said, once upon a time, his grandfather had given a tailoring machine, I think, machine to, sew clothes to a person who was very poor. And he made it a point. He said, I'm giving you this machine. You go and use it, earn out of it, but repay me the money I invested. Look at it. Now, how others will take this as, okay, you are giving somebody, you're donating, and you're asking the person to give you back the money. But the other side of the story is, he said, I did not want the person to feel, the gratitude has to be there, but not to feel that I am poor, I'm destitute, and this man is rich. He just gave me, so I would always be under him, and I would not grow as a full human being with my full happiness and potential. I will always be under this burden that once upon a time I was poor and this man had helped me. So I have borrowed that help kind. He did, the gentleman who dictated him that you should pay me back when you are a bit well off. He wanted the poor man to come out of that burden of, I got this help. Many a times it happens. People who get the help, they feel it like a burden. Okay, I have got this from him. So even this gentleman is so selfless, even if he's demanding the money, but look at this thing. He doesn't want to grow with that thing that, okay, I had helped that man someday. No. He's saying, I'm enabling you. You come back. You pay me back the money because you also lead a very healthy life and a very, a life full of, okay, content. Okay, even I'm a human being and even,
Suvralina,
yeah.
Please wrap it fast.
Yeah. I wanted to end with this story only. That is what I'm saying. It should not be I'm giving. So that desire that I should be get that respect or regard, it's about helping the person for a longer run. That will be the more meaningful service. And last thing I would like to conclude here is we can give only what we have. I cannot give which I do not have. If I have hatred, I can only give hatred. If I have love, I'll give love. If I have cruelty, I'll give cruelty. If I have good kindness, I'll give kindness. So let us first of all, before we get ready to give service, understand what is within me. If there is clarity, I can give clarity. If there is confusion, I'll give confusion. So if we really want to be of actual help, we should know what we truly are. And then only we can give selfless service. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Sister Suvralina. It was indeed an in-depth talk. But now, as we are running out of time, I would like to invite all the three speakers.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, all of you. You really gave a very, very interesting and to especially the new ones. It was really an insightful talk. So now I would like to open the forum for any questions and answers or suggestions.
Or let us take the questions from our speakers itself. Like,
Actually, I wanted to ask a question. Brother Pradeep, you mentioned about setting a subject while meditating. So if you would tell more about this thing, or any of you would tell more about like keeping a subject while meditating. Please unmute.
Yes. So selecting a subject or for meditation is only a way of practicing dharana. Okay. So in the beginning, you may find it funny. Yes, of course. In the beginning, well, you can select a subject. What should I eat? It's fine. What should I eat for breakfast? Go ahead. It's a good thing. You select it. Keep thinking on it. It should start from somewhere. So, and it can be till how can I stop this war in Ukraine? Right? It can be from what is your breakfast that you're going to have after the meeting till what's happening today. Is fine. Anything is fine. But basically, subject is not the subject here. The subject that you select is not the point of focus here. It should be something that should help you to practice this dharana. Means it should help you to make your mind to fix to that particular thing that you have selected. To how to pull your mind, how to bandhana means, what does it say? Desha bandhas chitta means how to make your mind to arrest in that particular desha means in that area. How to arrest your mind in that area. That's all. That anything that that can help your mind to train your mind to remain focused in that area that you have selected. You can select. Then every day you practice. As you practice, you feel, well, tomorrow you feel breakfast is not such an important thing to meditate. Let me meditate on what should I study tomorrow. Simple. That will be a subject. After that, you will think, uh, how can I help this person whom I met yesterday night? That can be a subject, right? Uh, Anything. So as you grow, you feel certain things as less important and something as more important. So I'm not saying today for someone who want to learn meditation to sit today and think about how can I attain mukti. That's impossible, right? That becomes mechanical. There is no point in that. So it should happen naturally. So the ultimate goal is to fix your mind to a particular subject. And then once you train that, then you will learn, you will see your thoughts. Okay, you have fixed your thought. How to stop? How can I stop this war that's happening in Ukraine? And so that the world will be in peace. It's a very noble thought. It's a noble thing. Okay, fix that and then see, observe your thoughts. Maybe the thought, the idea is very noble, very huge subject. But as a naive mind, as a small person, as a student, as a very young person, you observe your thoughts. What are your thoughts coming towards this war? What are your thoughts that coming towards this hatred? What are your thoughts? That is important. Maybe the subject is very vast. It's a very big subject. Something for experts to think about. It's fine. But as a naive person, as a small person, as a student, what are your thoughts? Maybe the thought that is coming from you may be more nobler than experts. Maybe it's even more wonderful than people who are dealing with this war for hundreds of years, right? So you practice your mind to stay in one particular area and see your thoughts, keep observing your thoughts. And theosophy says the thoughts that you get now towards one subject is not only limited to the knowledge you have gained so far in your life. No, it the thoughts can reflect the knowledge that you have gained in your previous lives, in your previous reincarnations. The knowledge you have gained, the samskara that you have carried to this generation, then once you keep observing, those thoughts may also be inspired from that which you are not aware of it, right? That's a wonderful process of observing your thoughts. You may find, well, I have never thought about it. How come I'm getting these thoughts? Maybe. So observing thoughts important. And then finally, you, your thoughts and the subject, everything becomes one. There is no you, there is no subject, there is no, only the process. Only the process remains. Everything loses its form and the process remains. And that's samadhi. So just for practicing it. Yeah.
Thank you, Brother Pradeep. I see Brother Harnath is also on video. Do you want to ask anything, sir?
No, I don't want to ask any questions because all the three speakers has well portrayed their inputs, very well explained the things. I think we don't have any questions because it is already all inputs has been given. Just I want to add something to the things like 3 points for this SMS. First point is steady. Just steady to acquire wisdom, not knowledge. If you study a book, basically I have seen a lot of people in our theosophy especially, they study books for to achieve some knowledge, and they think that literature is the only knowledge. That is not at all we should have to practice. You study a book, that's okay. If you're studying that book to achieve wisdom, that is fine. If you are studying that book to achieve certain knowledge, then it is of no use. Knowledge is of no use. So what I suggest is study the inner and the outer world with the insight intelligence. And the second point, meditation, which is a very vast subject, which is well explained by Mr. Pradeep, Brother Pradeep. So in that, I want to add a point like meditate without any motive. When you are meditating for certain things like for an enlightenment or for some kind of, I want to achieve some peace, I want to achieve something, that is of no use. That is not at all a meditation in my sense. If at all, if you are meditating for a motive, then it is not a meditation, it is a process. He has well explained the curriculum of Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Of course, he has taken from the middle dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. Before that, he has given some certain principles also like yama, niyama, pratyahara, prana, then dharana, then dhyana, then samadhi. So it all seems to me like a curriculum or a certain process. But for me, there is no certain process for meditation, like from lower to higher, from higher to lower. There is maybe for me especially, I don't think there is a process. So uh, meditate without motive is my next suggestion. And the third thing is like well explained by Suvralina ji. Uh, there is nothing to add because he has already explained it in an elaborate manner, like a service without self, which is like without I-ness. Service. So I have seen a lot of people who are serving out of the sympathy. I can say that is not at all a service. If you are serving a person with out of sympathy, then it is not a service at all. What Suvralina ji has explained is very, very true. Because if you have that I-ness, if you have that self in you, that is not at all a service. How to remove that self? It is because through the, again from the previous steps, through meditation only you can remove that self, and through a certain study of wisdom only you can remove that self. So I can say these three people, I would like to congratulate all the three speakers because they had given very valuable inputs on the Sunday. My sincere thanks to all of them. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Harnath. Brother Chandrakant Shinde, sir, is also here. So you would add something?
Very good subject you have selected. Okay. Something I am not clear, no? Yeah. Something wrong with the video. Okay.
Yes, sir.
It's okay, sir. We can listen to you. I mean,
Now,
Now it's all right. Very nice subject you have selected for discussion. It is always inspiring to listen and think and ponder over more about these three steps: study, meditation, and selfless service. Because it is the man only, he has the capacity to see things as they are. So HPB gave this SMS, study, meditation, and selfless service in theosophical literature. And we practice this. It is not new things. In Hindu tradition also we know Chintan, Manan, and Nididhyasa. Chintan is this study, and Manan is this reflection, meditation. And Nididhyasa means when there is Chintan and Manan, you won't stop servicing the others. So service comes, it's as an effect. So when there is real Chintan and Manan, this Nididhyasa, you can't stop serving the others. This is how these three are connected well. Study is necessary to realize our higher self, who is not the lower self, it is the higher self. And for that, we need to study. That kind of habit helps us to keep always good thoughts and insight. So this realization of our higher self, we need to have this abhyasa, satatya. And then meditation is, it changes our quality of thoughts. It is actually, we can call actualization. Study is for self-realization and meditation is for actualization. When you meditate, you serve. So it is actualization. And then selfless service, what it makes, it not only changes our quantity of good thoughts, but also keeps us linked with our higher self. So this is what HPB, the last words, keep your link unbroken. And these are the steps: study, meditation, and selfless service. So we can change it. You can give the other names for this also. Study keeps us in wisdom mood. Then meditation keeps us in meditation mood, and selfless service keeps us in service mood. So all these moods, because we are moody people, our moods are changing. So we must be in meditative mood, wisdom mood, and service mood. That is what really I enjoyed. All the Pradeep explained very nicely. Suvralina, expert in explaining the service, because she is doing TOS work. And even our Sairam Pate, he said many what to study and how to study. The books also he mentioned. Very nicely this whole program carried. Thank you, Kritika Goyal. You have conducted very nicely. Thank you all these participants. Thank you, Pradeep.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Brother Shinde.
So anybody else wants to add something or ask any question, or shall we move on?
Kritika,
Yes, ma'am.
मैं तीनों वक्ताओं के लिए बहुत ग्रेटिट्यूड पे करती हूँ। जैसा कि शिंदे साहब ने अभी कहा कि स्टडी मेडिटेशन एंड सर्विस एचपीबी ने अपने ग्रंथों में कहा है, और चौथी बात उन्होंने ये भी कही है कि हमको ग्रेटिट्यूड पे करना है। तो सबसे पहले मैं तीनों वक्ताओं के लिए ग्रेटिट्यूड पे कर रही हूँ। और जो बात सर ने कही, श्रवण मनन और निधिध्यासन, इसका उल्लेख वेदों में है। या सुनना भी एक स्टडी है, और उसको पॉन्डर ओवर करना, और फिर उसको प्रोफाउंड एंड रिपीटेड मेडिटेशन, वो निधिध्यासन है। तो मैं बस बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद तीनों वक्ताओं को।
Thank you, ma'am. So, is there anyone else?
Yeah, Sriram Pate, it is your daughter. So today is International Daughters Day.
No, sir. He's my son, Parthu.
Okay.
So we have 4 speakers there. So I think let's move on. Thank you so much to all the speakers for presenting so wonderfully and so with such a clarity. So let us sit in meditation for a minute. Next time for 30 minutes. Right now, let us sit in meditation for a minute and think over all the things we have learned today. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukh Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Thank you so much, all the speakers, and thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Let's meet next week, same time and same place. Till then, please enjoy and be safe. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kritika. Thank you all.